My name is Daniel Costa. I'm 33 years old, and 9 months ago I was called into a meeting room and fired for not having relevant skills for the AI era. I had 6 years with the company. Project manager, 3 promotions, evaluations always above average. But on a Tuesday in April, my director told me, "Daniel, you're great, but AI is changing how we manage projects. I need someone who understands machine learning, automation, big data. You're too traditional." Traditional, polite word for obsolete. They gave me 2 months severance and wished me good luck. I left that building feeling like a dinosaur facing a meteor. Today, 9 months later, I've returned to that company. Not as an employee, as a specialized consultant. They pay me $60 per hour to teach executives, including the director who fired me, how to work effectively with AI without losing human relevance. This story isn't about revenge. It's about how being called obsolete forced me to become indispensable in a way I never imagined. But before I tell you how I went from too traditional to specialist we desperately need, and the brutal lessons about adaptation I learned, I want to ask something. If you're afraid of becoming obsolete, if you've been called traditional at work, or if you're trying to figure out your place in the AI era, hit that like button and subscribe. And comment, what's your profession and do you feel like you're becoming outdated? Let's talk about this honestly. Now, let me take you back to that Tuesday that destroyed my ego and rebuilt my career. It was 2 p.m. when I got the team's message. "Daniel, available for a quick meeting?" Cinder, Patricia Mendez, Director of Operations, my boss for 3 years. I went up to the meeting room. Patricia was there with Andre from HR. Bad sign immediately. "Daniel, thanks for coming." Patricia was serious but not uncomfortable. For her, it was just another business decision. "I'll get straight to the point. We're restructuring the project team with a focus on AI, and unfortunately, your profile no longer aligns with where we're going." "My profile? Your skills are excellent for traditional management. Timelines, meetings, stakeholders. You do that very well." Traditional. The word hit me like a slap. "But AI is fundamentally changing how we manage projects," Patricia continued. "Task automation, predictive analysis, algorithmic optimization. We need managers who deeply understand these tools. And honestly, Daniel, you've never shown interest in learning." Never shown interest. As if lack of offered training was my fault. "I can learn," I managed to say. "Of course you can. But we're going to hire someone who already knows. Someone younger, more fluent in technology." Younger. There was the second stab. Andre pushed an envelope across the table. 2 months severance, benefits extension, professional replacement support. And Patricia wrote a great recommendation letter. Great for someone traditional, obsolete. Too old at 32. I left that room and went straight to the bathroom, locked myself in a stall, and for the first time in years, I cried at work. It wasn't about money, it was about identity. For 6 years, project manager defined who I was. At parties, what do you do? Project manager. On LinkedIn, project manager. In my head, project manager, and in 15 minutes, Patricia had erased that and written obsolete instead. I dried the tears, looked in the mirror, saw a 32-year-old man who looked 42, tired, defeated, disposable. I went back to my desk. No, it wasn't my desk anymore, and started packing. The first weeks unemployed were a blur of rejection. I updated LinkedIn. In transition, project manager with 6 years experience seeking new opportunities. 10 recruiters contacted me. All started excited. All ended the same. "Daniel, strong profile, but client is asking for someone with AI certification. Do you have it?" "No, but..." "Okay, I'll have to pass then. Good luck." I did 8 interviews. 5 ended with variations of, "Your skills are solid, but we're prioritizing candidates with stronger technical background. How much machine learning experience do you have?" "None directly, but I learned fast and..." "I see. We'll go with other candidates." Frustration gave way to something worse. Doubt. Maybe Patricia was right. Maybe I was obsolete. Month 2 unemployed, something happened that changed everything. My nephew, 16 years old, was doing schoolwork about professions of the future. "Uncle Daniel, do you think project manager will still exist in 10 years? The question hit my stomach. Of course it will. Why wouldn't it? Because I saw a video saying AI can manage schedules, allocate resources, even make reports. So what does the human do? I couldn't answer. That night, I went to YouTube. AI project management tools. Result: 847 videos. I watched 15 of them, and my stomach sank. Tools like Monday.com with AI Asana Intelligence, Notion AI all doing things I did. Automatically allocate tasks, predict delays, optimize resources, generate reports. So I really am obsolete, I thought. But then I watched a different video. Title: Why 80% of AI implementations in projects fail. The presenter was a Stanford professor. He said something that changed my perspective. AI is excellent at processing data, terrible at processing people. And project management is 20% processes, 80% people. It's managing expectations, conflicts, ambiguities. It's understanding when a client says yes but means no. It's knowing when to push and when to pull back. AI doesn't do that. Yet. Watched it 3 times and I had an insight. I wasn't obsolete. I was focusing on the 20% of skills AI could replicate, ignoring the 80% it couldn't. The next day, I started something different. Instead of competing with AI, I decided to understand AI. Not to become a machine learning engineer, but to be a bridge between AI and humans. I enrolled in a course, AI for Non-Technical Professionals, on Coursera. $60. Investment that changed my life. I learned not how to program AI, but how to work with it. Which tasks AI does well, repetitive, data-based. Which AI does poorly, ambiguous, context-dependent. How to combine AI plus human for better results. Then I took a second course, Change Management in Automation Era. And third, Psychology of Hybrid Teams, Human plus AI. Total invested, $360. But I didn't just do courses, I did something more important. I experimented. I created a personal project, 30 days managing with AI. Every day, I used a different AI tool to manage fictional projects and documented what worked, what failed, where human intervention was needed. Day 5. Used ChatGPT to create complete project plan. Result: technically perfect, but didn't consider internal politics of any real company. Day 12. Used Notion AI to automatically allocate resources. Result: efficient on paper, but put 2 people who hate each other on the same subproject. Day 23. Used Monday.com AI to predict risks. Result: identified 15 technical risks, 0 human risks, burnout, ego conflict, turnover. Pattern became clear. AI was technical genius but emotional idiot. And me? I was the opposite. Technically mediocre, emotionally fluent. Together, unbeatable. I created a presentation, AI plus Manager, How to Multiply Results Without Losing Humanity. Posted it on LinkedIn as an article. First 24 hours, 300 views, week 1, 5,000 views. And then, a message that changed everything. Daniel, I'm Bruno, Consulting Director at Tech Advance. Your article is exactly the conversation we need to have with clients. Do you offer consulting? Consulting. I'd never thought of that. I can offer. What would be the scope? We have clients implementing AI in project management. 70% fail because managers don't know how to work with technology. They're just replaced BY technology. Could you train teams? Train. Me, who was fired for being traditional, now going to train others. What's the investment? $50 per hour. Initial contract of 40 hours. If it works, it becomes permanent partnership. $50 per hour times 40 hours equals $2,000. 2 months of my old salary in 5 days of work. Deal. First consulting was a disaster. Complete. I arrived overconfident. I'm going to teach you how to use AI. Team looked at me with disdain. A veteran manager said, "Son, I've been managing projects since before you were born. I don't need a PowerPoint telling me how to do my job." Bombed. But I learned. Nobody wants to be taught they're wrong. They want to be helped to get better. I changed approach. Session 2. Let's solve a real problem using AI as a tool. I took one of their delayed projects, ran it through Notion AI, came out with a technically perfect but humanly impossible recovery plan. Then I did a workshop. Okay, AI suggests this, but you know the team. What would really work? They adjusted the plan, kept 40% of AI's suggestion, changed 60% based on human context. Result: project recovered in 3 weeks. The veteran manager came afterward. You know what you're talking about. Best compliment I received. Word spread. Tech Advance called me for 6 more projects. Then 12. I became a permanent consultant. And then I got an email I didn't expect. Subject: Consulting Proposal, my former company. Sender: Patricia Mendez. I opened with trembling hand. Daniel, I hope you're well. We're facing challenges in AI implementation in project management. Team is resistant. Tools aren't delivering expected results. I saw your work on LinkedIn and with Tech Advance. Would you have availability for consulting? We can discuss rates. The woman who called me traditional, who fired me for being obsolete, now asking for my help. Part of me wanted to respond, thanks, but I'm too traditional to help. But the better part responded, Hi Patricia, I have availability, my rate is $60 per hour, minimum 20 hours. Can you share more details about the challenge? $60, $10 more than Tech Advance, because I could. She accepted without negotiating. The first meeting was strange. I entered the same building where I was fired, same meeting room, Patricia at the head, but now I was on the other side. Consultant, specialist, needed, Daniel, thanks for coming. She was uncomfortable. Good. I'll be honest, we implemented AI tools in all projects. Efficiency should have increased 40%. It dropped 15%. Why? Team doesn't use tools correctly, or overuses them and ignores intuition. Clients complained communication became robotic, and we lost 2 managers who felt they were being replaced. I knew this script. It was my story. Patricia, can I ask something? Of course. When you implemented AI, did you train the team on how to work with it? Or did you just replace processes and expect them to adapt? Silence. We replaced processes, she admitted. Then, it's not AI failure, it's change management failure. Her expression closed. Then, opened. You're right. First time she admitted error to me. Daniel, can you fix this? I can, but I won't fix it. I'll teach your team to fix it. And it'll take time. AI isn't a magic solution, it's a tool that multiplies capacity of those who are already good. How long? 3 months, 20 hours per month, $3,600 total. Approved. Over the next 3 months, I transformed that company. Not with technology, with mindset. I created a framework, AI amplified, human-led. Principle 1. AI does work. Human makes decision. AI processes data, generates options. Human chooses based on context AI doesn't see. Principle 2. AI optimizes efficiency. Human optimizes people. AI allocates resources perfectly on paper. Human adjusts based on burnout, team dynamics, politics. Principle 3. AI is tool, human is responsible. When something goes wrong, client doesn't want to talk to chatbot. They want human accountability. I ran 8 workshops. Trained 40 managers. By the 3rd month, metrics changed. Efficiency, up 32%, not 40%. Team satisfaction, up 45%. Manager retention, 100%. Client satisfaction score, up from 6 to 8.5. Patricia called me in the last week. Daniel, you transformed this team. Thank you. You're welcome. Can I ask something personal? Sure. Do you hate me? For firing you? I thought honestly, no. I hated you for a while, but you did me a favor. She blinked surprised. If you hadn't fired me, I never would have left my comfort zone, never would have learned AI, never would have discovered that my real value wasn't managing tasks, it was managing transformation. You could have learned here. Could have, but you also could have invested in me instead of replacing me. Neither of us made the perfect choice. But we both learned. She nodded slowly. Do you want to come back? Not as manager, as director of digital transformation. Salary $3,600. $3,600. 3 times my old salary. Position that didn't exist when I was fired. Thank you. But no. Why? Because I'm more valuable as an independent consultant. I work with 6 companies now. Earn more, learn more, and I never again depend on one company deciding if I'm relevant. Today, 9 months after being fired for being too traditional, I'm a specialized consultant in human management of AI systems. I work with 9 companies, monthly revenue, $7, $8K. But the money isn't the victory. The victory is this. Lesson number 1. Obsolete is a choice, not destiny. I was called traditional because I stopped learning. When I started learning again, I became a reference. Lesson number 2. Don't compete with AI. Collaborate. AI is an incredible tool for those who know how to use it. Terrible threat for those who ignore it. Lesson number 3. Your competitive advantage is humanity. AI processes. You interpret. AI optimizes. You empathize. AI scales. You personalize. Lesson number 4. Being fired can be recalibration, not rejection. Patricia firing me didn't mean I had no value. It meant my value needed to evolve. Lesson number 5. You don't need their validation to be valuable. I didn't go back to the company because I no longer need its validation. My value is recognized by 9 companies now. If you're afraid of becoming obsolete, let me tell you, you probably will be if you don't change. But change doesn't mean becoming someone else. It means adding new layers to what you already are. I didn't stop being a project manager, I became a project manager who understands AI. You don't need to become an engineer. You need to become a professional who uses AI as a multiplier. If this story inspired you, if it made you see obsolete differently, hit that like button. Subscribe, because every week I bring stories about transforming threats into opportunities in the AI era. And comment, what skill do you have that AI will never replicate? Let's remember our human value together. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. And remember, you're not competing with AI. You're discovering how being human is worth more when you work with it.